the struggle. You guys are in for a real treat today. We have a hilarious guest by the name of Ramon. I'm struggling with his name already. See? Ramon Rivas. You know I like doing that.
Yeah, you had a little flair to it.
I have to.
Ramon Rivas, or you can roll as many of the letters as you want when you say it.
Ramon
Rivas. Just add vers.
Just add gratuitous vers to any letter, even if it's not supposed to be.
You just add the little enye over it.
Is that how you say that?
The little squiggle?
That's what it's called, an enye?
I believe so.
What about a enye?
I don't even know.
It's too much to handle.
Yeah.
So we are Jackie Fabulous Liss today. That's her struggle. She couldn't make it today. And really quickly, before we get into your struggle, I would like to talk about my struggle today.
Okay.
It's very quick, but I forgot that I left the house and I didn't put a bra on.
Oh, shit.
So that's the struggle for me today. But what's so good about my constant struggle, which is not having big boobs, is that you can go braless, right?
So is that like a treat for yourself? Is it similar? Like the equivalent would be a man going commando, no underwear.
I mean,
and I feel a little.
You feel free?
No, I don't like it.
Oh,
I need a little barrier.
Coverage.
Yeah. You know.
You feel vulnerable? Is that
kind
a good
of,
word
and
to
then
describe?
I have a weird waist where my pants constantly are like slipping down. So I need that.
Back up. I want to go back to your waist.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
all those waist trainers you've been wearing?
No, like I just have I have little legs and a big torso, right?
And a wide back.
Yeah, so like my pants just don't do what pants are supposed to do, I don't think, but they just kind of slip all the time. So
I'm sorry, continue.
If I was going commando, there'd be a lot of exposure.
Have you heard of this? There's an invention that they made. I think it's pretty new. It's called a belt. I have
a belt, but it doesn't. They still fall.
How is that? I don't believe you.
I mean, you'll see.
When?
At some point. Just notice my waistline. You'll notice how weird it is from now on. You'll never be able to look at me the same way.
Well, now I'm going to be looking at your crotch area.
Yeah, which is kind of the point.
Which is why I told this story to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm jealous that you have a tiny waist that can not hold up your pants properly.
It's not childbearing.
You don't have those childbearing hips. You know, men with hips are my favorite thing in the world.
Like hips in what way? In the same way a woman has hips?
Absolutely. A dude that just has hips.
Like a thick bottom dude?
Yeah, I know a couple of male comics and they actually, one of them inspired, because sometimes I go up on stage and I'll just go out. You know, like when a comic goes out, they'd be like, where my Scorpios at? I'd be like, where my men with hips at? Clap if you have childbearing hips. And like, you'd be surprised, but there is sometimes a nice reaction from the men. I make them feel that they can embrace their body. Okay. It's not just about a female, body shaming thing. Yeah. Men feel ashamed of their bodies as well.
For sure.
So, I mean, it sounds like you have a little.
Just a little. I mean, I've always been built weird. Like, I've always been bigger than everybody, like just size wise. So I'd always get called fat, but I was just bigger.
You're not fat though.
But then I became fat. Does that make sense? Like it just.
So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Because before I would
just be manifested the fat.
I would be like a kindergartner that was a third grader size. So I just had that ratio.
I don't look at you and see fat though, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm thick for sure.
I would say, you thick.
Yeah.
Thick, but not fat.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to say you're fat.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I have a weird. Like, people are like, oh, you've been losing weight since I've been out here in LA because I ride my bike around a lot. But I weigh the same exact thing as when I left Cleveland. It just looks different on me.
Maybe you're building muscle mass from all the pedaling.
Could be. My hamstrings and my calves are ready for some rigorous activities.
Now, I want to. We've been talking about some trivial struggles that have been going on.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have recently expressed to me that you were concerned about whether or not you were a fuckboy.
Well,
But is that the struggle you want to talk about today?
Yeah, we can talk. I mean, I have plenty of struggles. We could talk about that, the fuckboy struggle, which I'm pretty sure I am. I don't. It's not really a question. It's just the degree to which, like, I think there's degrees within it, if that makes sense.
There's a spectrum of fuckboy.
There's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of everything. Or I don't have a car, so the struggle of getting around LA without a car is something else I have. So I have whatever.
All right. Well, if we run out of fuckboy stuff,
boom,
then we
can
can go into cars.
But I feel like they feed into each other in a certain way. But
you know what? They can, but I don't think they have to.
Okay.
And we can discuss that after we.
Okay. So now, before we preface my fuckboyism, I would like to put it adjacent to your recent struggle where you had a slow burn romance,
which I just talked about on the first episode. Okay. So if you listen to that, then you'll be all caught up.
Yes. So you had a man you were slow courting.
I was courting him.
Each other. You were slow courting each other. I don't know. Yeah. I remember telling you early on. You were like, "We're taking it slow." I'm like, "Have you guys like made out or anything?" You're like, "No," and I'm like, "That." Really? And you're like, no, it's old fashioned. Like,
I thought.
That's what you thought, right?
That is what I thought.
Now, and then a month or two later.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I think
right?
He's gay.
You think he's gay. So in the spectrum of you've had fuckboys in your life.
Yes.
Right?
I don't think he was a fuckboy though.
No. Yes. So he's not, but he's a different level of shitty man.
Probably. Or maybe, I don't know. Because
if you're a shitty partner, are you a shitty dude? Are you a fuckboy if you're not a good partner? Because okay.
No, so not necessarily.
Okay.
But I would like to address, I don't think he's a shitty person. If my hypothesis is correct, where I think he's gay, then he could just be in the closet and confused.
Until he hears episode 1 and 2 of this podcast.
He may have already listened to it by now.
He
follows me on social media.
Yeah.
So he may, absolutely. And you know what? If he's listening to it and he has problems with it, then, maybe you need to work on your communication with people because, I was in a very bad place after, he stopped seeing me for a while. So I took a hit. So it's like,
Now, so that was, but... he wasn't a fuckboy, but it was a shitty experience.
There's issues with him,
It
obviously.
was an issue with him, but it was a shitty experience on your end.
Correct.
As shitty as experiences you've had with fuckboys?
No.
Different tier or just less shitty?
I think it was just a different tier of fuckery.
With a fuckboy, you're like, this is just going to be fun. Going into it to not expect it to be this slow courting 2-month buildup.
Correct. There's usually some sexual stuff, which is how the term fuck gets, in the term to begin with, is because that's usually all they're good for.
Well, it's interesting because the phrase actually got co-opted. The original definition of a fuckboy is a dude who is in prison and gets passed around to other dudes in prison. Like, you a fuckboy. So when you would say this like back in the day to someone, it would usually preface a fight. Like, it was one of the last things you could say before it was
somebody tried to kill you.
Shit was about to go down.
But like, you can't deny, like, if that's what was happening to you in prison.
So that, but that's something that once it comes out of the prison into just society, you're implying that a dude is a hoe for other dudes.
That's true, but no one knows that connotation.
No one knows. Everyone knows it as a new
person.
Everyone knows it as a new thing, which is a dude who's trying to get pussy with minimal to no effort.
That is correct, but also plays games.
Plays games. So
that's the important part. Is
now,
the game playing.
What are these games?
Mind games. Like, I know when I dated a dude, and I'm not blaming him. I mean, I do think he's a fuckboy 100%, but I do also believe that I shared some of the responsibility because I saw the red flags.
It takes two to tango.
Of course. Yeah. And I saw the red flags and I continued to let him like manipulate me mentally. We had started off just, being casual, which is what I wanted because I just had gotten out of a pretty bad relationship like a year before that traumatized me to the point where I was like, I don't want anything serious because I think people are crazy.
Yeah, I just want to have some fun.
Right, some fun. So that was initially what happened. So it started off as that, but then like it lasted like a year and a half. Which
consistently casual through the whole thing, or did it build into more?
That's the thing is I think it did build into more emotionally, but at the same time, he was not putting forth much effort in showing me that he wanted more of a relationship. But at the same time, I had expressed to him, we get along so well. Why don't we explore this? I think there could be more there. And he was always hesitant about that. So he would like be like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if I'm ready for a commitment type thing. And then so like then we ended it. And then I had already told him, you know, like I like you. So, you know, of course, that's kind of like a breakup then at that point. It's like we've been seeing each other for a year and a half, and then I'm expressing I like you, and now you're like, I can't do it. Let's stop communication.
Boom.
But then he continued to like text and still like
emotional dumping ground, like
Well, it gets so confusing with all the social media stuff. Like I don't know what the rules are. I know that if I dump somebody and they express that they are still into me, that I know that if I like their photos constantly and like poke them on Facebook or continue to text them or whatever, reach out to them, that's going to be triggering them.
Yeah.
Because I'm human and I know that I wouldn't want that done. So this person was doing that to me, like liking Facebook photos and liking Instagram photos, texting. Every time I'd do like a live Instagram video, he would get on there and be like, hey, Candice. Like it was like a flirt.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what's happening here. But again, you knew that I liked you. So do you still like me? Do you miss me? So it was like those mind games of, I think he misses me. And but then would you know, continue with the no, I don't want to be in a committed relationship. Then leave me alone. What are you doing?
Well, see, that's so interesting to hear that side of things, because I always like in my fuckboyery is very kind of just.
I love all the fuckboyery, fuckboyishness. Like there's so many.
I fell into it because like it's something I definitely actively decided to try. Because I was a virgin till I was 26.
What?
Yeah. So that's
By
a whole
choice? Or lack of trying, or
both. All of it. Like it was a confluence of a lot of things.
okay.
My dad is one of 17. So
Jesus.
he feel like I have a very fertile family from that. Then my sister had 3 kids before she turned 21, before I graduated high school.
So you were just
I was like, yo.
I'm not gonna.
And then I also saw my dad cheated on my mom a whole bunch. And then the father of my sister's kids has 3 kids that are the same age, but a girl who's younger than me.
I was just about to ask if your dad was a fuckboy. Because I would like to know if it is genetic, if it's hereditary.
I made on my vision board. I put a clipping that said "a way out of your shitty genetics," and for men, and there's a lot of layers to that. There's the animalistic male DNA, which is like what you see in the animal kingdom,
right?
Just conquer, spread your seed type of shit.
Without thinking or thinking about consequences.
Yeah, that's just your animal. Like, yo, boom, we try and get it in. Let's go. There's the genetics of your family, like, you know, like if I step all the way back to my grandfather, my dad's dad, he was
he a fuckboy too?
He was an alcoholic, abusive womanizer. Right?
So yeah. Kinda.
So my dad spaced from that, wasn't alcoholic, wasn't abusive, but still was a womanizer. Right? So I spaced from that. My dad's I have some jokes in my act that my dad's just really too cool. Like I wish he was my uncle, just because if your uncle can be outlandish, but when it's your dad, it kind of feels with no responsibility,
but
it feels weird.
Of course, you're supposed to be the adult.
Yes, and like my dad's the type of dude. He said he'll walk in on a first date and tell a woman like, "You're gonna get fucked tonight." Straight, like clarifying intent, like up top.
What is your daddy's phone?
Right? But he's got like a weird, like his sauce when he was younger was obviously more potent, but like now he's just kind of like, it's maybe a little sadder once you hit like 50-ish.
Of course it's sadder. So wait, how is he's single right now?
Single right now.
But like getting his...
Still less so than when he was back in the day, but there was a period, him and my mom got divorced because my dad was in a bar and a dude was being racist and disrespectful to my dad's lady. So my dad punched him in the face, broke his jaw in 3 places, and which is noble to defend your lady, but that lady wasn't my mom. That was
the mistress.
That wasn't my mom. So that is one of the straws that led to the divorce. But seeing my parents love each other, but sex drove them apart, I think is why I separate love and sex.
And that's a good reason too.
It is a good reason too, but love, sex, and emotions got split. They can exist separately, but I haven't had them in the same moment as the sadness of struggle of my life.
Oh,
right?
We're getting deep here today.
Booyah.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so that plus I was real fat, right? Women are kind of shallow. But
Whoa.
in the sense of I've had a lot of women in my life who love being my friend and just have a love for me, but don't have an attraction to me, right? And I've had open up, hey, I got feelings for you. Oh, thank you. And then no back. So I bury feelings, right? So now I go into situations, no feelings.
So you're a man, yes.
Right. But going into a situation where it's just casual hookup, want to have some fun, and I am a laid back, unemotional dude just in general, you add all those ingredients up. We do like a cool emotional thing, and you're expecting that's where the fuckboy comes from.
It's for a fuckboy.
So it's not like an intentional, I'm just not trying to be with you, but I also was hyper aware of a lot of factors. So gosh.
Ramon, it sounds like you are aware, which is...
I've become aware recently.
But, so I have to ask, were you made aware by just the way women, spoke to you after you were doing fuck shit and they were like, look?
No.
How did you become aware?
I became aware just through, weird rumors I'd been having to deal with. Where, I have rumors in Cleveland that I trade blowjobs for stage time to comedians. So I'm like, nah, I don't do that.
Male comedians?
Obviously. But yeah, it's I run bar shows. Y'all can run bar shows. You don't have to you should suck my dick for love of the game, not for any compensation.
But also normally that doesn't hurt the dude who's on the receiving end of the blowjob. That's usually used to, slander the chick who is giving the blowjob for stage time.
And it's funny because I never do that, but also I've hooked up with a handful of comedians. And in doing that, I'll be afterwards in public, I'll be very extreme, I'm treating you like everybody to the point where I'm not giving you anything different than I'm giving anyone else. So that will feel shitty.
Right. But I have to because I'm trying to be professional.
I'm being professional. I'm being like a person in a position of power. I'm not treating you any differently. So but as a person just with care, I'm not doing that. Right. So just in doing that, I've just been talking to different, just past chicks I've hooked up with and just gotten chicks who I've hooked up with.
You have them fill out surveys?
Kind of.
How was I? If you could please.
Not even that, because there's a couple different girls, but one of them we hooked up a bunch, right? And they're like, yeah, you made me feel bad about myself every time we hooked up. And I'm like, but
how?
Yo, why are we still hooking up? What is this? And she was well, the sex is great. She was like, the sex is great. She was like, but
that's reason enough to go back.
She's like, you'll make me feel like I'm not a person, like I'm just a whole. And it's like, how? And she's like, because sometimes you'll call your Uber to go home too soon after we're done fucking.
It's because you have a hole inside.
And it's because honestly, it's because I'm kind of broke. So that surge price difference, I'm trying to get back to the crib.
Now, did you say that?
No, not to her, but I've been talking about this shit on stage, so
that would make her feel better.
Yeah, so it's that. It is I flop around a lot when I sleep. I don't know if you have to wake up the next morning, so I'm just gonna go. And it's funny because she told me that, but then I'm remembering back, I'm well, when you would come over, you would just leave right away too. Yeah. So it's just it's weird to all the things that are fuckboy behavior, you ghosted, you didn't hit me up afterwards. It's well, you have my number too.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
I think again, some women need to accept some of the responsibility as well.
And I'm bad at, for a dude who talks for a living, I don't communicate well. And I had another girl who was like, you never want to do anything unless we're fucking. And I'm like, well, we're fuck buddies.
That comes.
And she's like, well, it feels like there's no buddies to it. If I would have known it was be your friend or fuck you, I would have just fucked you. I wouldn't have.
Interesting.
I wouldn't have fucked you. I would have just been your friend, it's very beautiful. And I don't think of things like that. But I don't know how to say this in a not shitty way, but I have a lot of friends already.
Yeah.
And it's if I'm not objectifying you, if you're just going to be a person, you're not a woman I can have sex with, you're just a person, and pussy's out of the equation. This is a whole big line. Right. But I've been real guilty of the fuckboy thing of letting pussy be a shortcut to that friend time, to the pie chart. right?
Did you bring the pie chart with you?
I mean, I can explain what
could
the
use
pie
some
chart
visuals
is
for our listeners.
It's everyone has a pie chart. It's usually job, career.
Yes.
If you're lucky, those are the same thing. And then friends and family, and then alone time, self-care, and then new things, new people.
Okay.
That's pretty much everyone's pie chart. You have different, you can chop it up a little differently if you want to, but
I would agree with that.
and we all have certain standards for different things to get into that pie
I was going to
chart.
say masturbation. That's part of me time.
That's self-care.
Yes.
And so we all have that, and romance can slice out however much of the pie. For it could be a dalliance, it could be whatever, but
that's part of the new people.
Part of the new people, right?
Portion.
So sex is a quick way to get into the pie chart, but there's still the standards of dopeness to stay.
Yes. To actually, to have to earn an actual wedge into my pie.
Yeah, right. Which like you said, you had a year and a half fuckboying. I'm sure you had a wedge. You had carved out a wedge.
I don't know if I had a wedge in his
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it may have been a wedge, but not enough for you because it
was not enough for me.
So I've only had 1.5 girlfriends.
Ever.
I've dated a lot, but I've only had 1.5 girlfriends.
Okay.
The half girlfriend is a girl who we were just hooking up, nothing official, and she was getting the first girl is a girl I lost my virginity to, and I broke up with her because I wasn't considering her before I was making decisions, which was making me feel shitty. She was fine with it.
You mean like career decisions?
Just
or
like we'd have plans and then I'd go do comedy shit, or we had supposed to do some shit over a weekend and I just went to Chicago to grab my buddy's truck to drive it back. just dumb, slightly majorly inconsiderate things to a whole other person.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, oh, I gotta go do this thing. Oh, that's fine. But I would feel bad. Even because I know
because you're acknowledging
and that's the
I wouldn't want someone to do that to me.
Right. So I'm so I broke up with her, never cheated on her or anything, but I feel shitty.
She deserved better.
Right. Plus, there's that. But then we also live an hour apart. Neither of us had a car. I was on unemployment.
That's already
using my unemployment to pay for a car that I wasn't able to drive.
The fact that you guys made it that long to begin with is a testimony to the two of you.
Just a testimony to me.
That's your wife.
That is a girl who she chased me down, and then after we hooked up the first time, she was like, "So are we boyfriend girlfriend?" I was like, "Yeah," because I'd literally I never even dated before that.
Yeah.
Never even "Hey, will you go to dinner?" No, none of that.
Okay.
Right. So then the half girlfriend, we were just hooking up, and I was starting to care and consider before I made decisions. And then I went to New York for a long trip. So I can't do whatever this is anymore halfway through it. And then we hung out a little bit when I got back, but then I saw she couldn't find her phone, and I found it. I was saved in her phone as Ramon Fuckboy. So that's why I'm only a half boyfriend to her, because we never got to that point.
I want to know what the other Ramones in her phone were.
I don't know. I think I might have been the only one. But
if you were the only one and then she still put fuckboy after you, that's serious.
You're right.
There's no one to even confuse you with.
Exactly. But even within that, I don't know, again, I was broke. I knew that I couldn't really be a proper partner. Right. Not a lot of dependability, but
right.
I was nice within that. I helped her move, load everything up, but didn't help her unload because she was moving in with her parents.
Now, did she have her shit together? Was she career-wise, was she a woman that was put together so you felt even worse because you knew
no,
I don't have my shit?
No. I would say she was not aimless, but trying to find her track, and was an artist making jewelry for someone else. And then by the time we stopped hanging out, was making her own jewelry.
Oh.
And then now does her own.
Okay. She has her own jewelry stuff now.
Yeah. So
and I guarantee you're one of the charms.
No,
this is
definitely not. But that's another one of those I still follow her on social media and stuff just because
you still follow her, but I'm just saying after the initial breakup of you stopped seeing one another.
I'm sure I was unfollowed at some point.
Exactly.
I noticed that.
So like you weren't gonna like her photos incessantly.
I'll still like her photos.
Immediately after the breakup?
She's still fine.
Immediately after the breakup?
Yeah.
See, no, that's
because it wasn't.
to me.
Is it a breakup if you were never dating?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it's confusing.
Got you.
It's confusing
because it is one of those things. Like if I was in a different position in my life, I would love to have dated her. But I'm also aware of I'm a lack of all these things, and then you're also about to move in with your parents. You also have financial struggles. You have like, there's everyone has their own mental things. Like there's a lot of different issues, and it's like, yo, I wish I could be what you needed.
Right.
Like when I was in New York, and she was, I can't do whatever. She says, I understand. If you have a bad day, I should be there.
Right.
But
I can't get my shit together.
Right. So it's hard. Like that's what it's hard for me. I barely care about myself in a lot of ways. Like my care is like my family, my like small batch of friends, like the care I have for just people in general, just wish you well. But beyond that, it's hard to muster something just immediately. Right. Even though there's this expectation too, I feel like.
Relationships we're high maintenance. Even ones that aren't high maintenance are high maintenance just by nature.
Yes,
just because it's like we're like dogs. We need like a puppy.
Men are like rescue animals. My friend helped me realize that recently. I
think we're like rescue animals.
Well, because my old roommate, we were talking recently, and she was saying like her dude, she was like met him when she moved up north and like saw him for the first time. I was like, whoa, right? And then they've been together on and off. Like he's had his own. He the way he grew up. He processes irrational things as love because his parents are weird.
Okay,
right.
That's where it all starts.
That's where you get it. You get how you love and process shit from your parents. So, because I've noticed like I love my family and I'll be around them all day, but we won't say words to each other. We'll just be near each other. Right.
So it's more so like it's expressed through actions.
Yeah, or words. just like little shit. And I don't know.
Right. No, I think my family's similar to that. We're not big on I love you or doing that, but they'll buy me stuff sometimes, which is nice.
And that's like, my parents worked a lot when I was a kid. So like things and being taken care of was love.
That's love.
But like being around and available to do quote unquote dumb things that I wanted to do.
Right.
Weren't necessarily in the cards.
Yeah, no, your dad was out there getting those hoes.
Right.
So he didn't have time to come to soccer games,
No, and I didn't even have time for soccer games
Ramon.
myself. I forgot what I was talking about.
We did go off on a little bit. I mean, but we've covered so much already.
Yeah.
And I feel like, first of all, I would like to say that looking at you, I would never think that you are as well versed about emotions and I know this is and I'm saying this because Ramon is sitting in front of me like in a hoodie and kind of, just you look disheveled.
I'm always disheveled.
Kind of that is, and I think that's also, it works with your stand-up too. I feel like it's like a character that you are on stage, but also it's because it's a part of you. But the fact that we're sitting here and having this emotionally mature conversation, like I would never have assumed that you cared or analyzed or thought about any of this stuff. Well, and I know that's my bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly,
you're just much deeper than what you look on the surface.
Yes. I feel like I'm hard for people to read. I feel like you probably have this too, like racially and like mentally.
We're conundrums.
Yes. Like people, like I've had,
and they're like,
college, I've had people be like, yo, are you part black? I'm like, what?
I mean, you totally could be.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing is like, I'm very racially ambiguous, but within that, I'm Hispanic, but I don't speak Spanish. So they're like, you white boy.
Right.
White people are like, oh, you're brown, you're black.
Right.
So I can't quite fit there. Black people are like, oh, you're a white boy. So it's like, I can access all, but the thing is I can access all those groups.
Right.
But I cannot feel comfortable within those.
We share a struggle. We should have talked about this.
It's a real thing, and it gives you an odd viewpoint, but it lets you it's funny to like I've been going and doing some urban shows in town, And like one of my friends came like, oh, this bar's real black. I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, it's great to have it opposite.
Yeah.
Because normally you go somewhere, it's all white people, and you just kind of have to just like, oh, all right.
Right.
And you can't really address it. You can't really say anything. And it is correlating it back to women. It kind of is starting to feel like that with dudes who are like conscious of like some sort of feminism, and then dudes who aren't. Like I was talking to my dad recently.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something, and I was just like, no, I was like, I've realized like I don't treat women the way, like my one buddy gave me the advice that his dad said that you only make excuses for things you're not proud of. So I'll make excuses about my career with women, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just true. Me being shitty.
Yeah.
Me being selfish, me not wanting to really go out of my way and it properly
being lazy sometimes. I mean, we all relate to this.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Like I put in the minimal, like in school, I would do I wouldn't do homework or study, but I would crush tests.
Yeah.
At work, and when I had a day job, I would do I would crush the work I needed to do, but I'm chilling.
Doing the bare minimum.
I'm giving myself loose time.
That should be the name of your comedy album.
Right.
Bare minimum.
And then, but I'm dressed as a bear.
Brilliant.
But
naked.
That correlates to sex too. And not sex, but dating.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ramon, don't put that out there.
No. Well, I had a girl, I went over just to smoke. She was fine, so I went over to smoke. I'm always hopeful for pussy, but I'm never like, hey, what's good?
Isn't that every man?
Yeah, it is. And women too. Not every woman, but a lot of women. Y'all shoot.
Thirsty.
You shoot your shots different, but y'all shoot them too.
Yeah, I've been rejected the past 3 times. You got to put yourself out there.
You got to.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Oh shit. What were you saying? You were saying, fuck. You said about a chick.
Oh.
God damn it, Paul. We said bare minimum.
Oh. God damn it.
Like about how it goes through relationship.
Oh, about weed?
Oh, got you. So I went over to chick's house and just smoking, just chilling.
We got it. We're back, guys.
And she, we started talking about dating, and she was like, "Oh yeah," she's like, "I'm just looking for something serious now." She's like, "I'm not doing fast food sex anymore." I was like, "What? Fast food sex? What's that?"
I've never heard that before.
She was like, "Well, you know how like when you eat fast food, you go eat, but it like wasn't nutritious or enriching." You ate, but you're gonna be hungry later. But no one likes eating fast food, but it's
afterwards.
But it's cheap, it's quick, and you can afford it.
Yeah.
She was like that, but with sex.
She doesn't want to do that anymore.
Yes, and I'm like,
so you left.
No, well, I was like, oh, word, that sounds terrible. That's the only kind of sex I have. Which isn't good, but it's because I've been tying my financial poverty to my emotional poverty. Yeah. Like I said earlier, like not having a car, that struggle impacts trying to date.
It does. It impacts everything.
It's a real thing, especially
in LA, where everyone is so superficial.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember I was home over Christmas, and this girl I hooked up with before, and like we could have probably dated her, but like didn't. Just kind of just meandered around my life. And we hung out when I was home, and she was talking about how like dating, me and her friend who lives out here were talking about how LA sucks, and then started talking about how dating in LA sucks. And the girl was like, well, dating here sucks too. Like I went on a date with a guy, and he was super sexy, and like we went to dinner, and then he's telling me he like lives with his parents, and I'm like, well, I live with my parents too, so it's not a big deal. Yeah. And then he's like, I don't have a car. And she's like, oh. And then like, he doesn't have a good job. It's like, can you give me something? And
like you're describing me.
Right? That's what I told her. I was like, yo, you remember when you got mad that I couldn't date you? I was that dude. So it's like, I'm aware of that. So that's the one thing is there's the degrees of fuckboy. There's the fuckboy who is playing mind games and being like, yo, girl, I just want to be with you. Just give me a shot. What's good? Like, come on now. I'm not that.
You're not that.
I'm not selling hope.
Right.
I'm out here just be like, hey, what's up? You want to hang out? You want to smoke a little weed? Huh?
And maybe
throw
some dick in there eventually.
Hey, at some point it'd be nice.
Right.
I've had sex with a few friends, but I've never been able to convert a friendship into a relationship.
Mm-hmm. That's hard.
And I've been able to convert friendships into sex, but only with friends who don't live near me.
But also I mean, they say that is what is supposed to be best, is that conversion of friendship into sex, but then it's risky because you then are like, is this friendship, if this does not work out, is this friend disposable? So when even contemplating the people, because I was going through my phone, like, who can I? Because the struggle is real.
Did you pause on my name, Candice?
Ramon.
That's all I'm asking.
On the next episode of The Struggle, I'll reveal whether or not. I don't think I got to the R's.
Damn, I sent a couple fillers out earlier in the alphabet. That's funny.
I think I made it to like I.
Oh yeah. See, I used to do that when I would be bored. I would have a bunch of numbers in my phone
and just go through like
just
who
from
can I
either
have
from
sex
like
with?
dating apps or meet at shows or just met out and about and just
Who
like,
can I hit
yo, I realized that I would be bored and just what you just described. Who can?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, hundreds of extra numbers. I deleted like 600 phone numbers from my phone. Not all of them women, but a lot of them were women.
Well, I guess it's good for that.
And it's like
purging.
It's a good purge. I did the same thing on Facebook, but it winds up, I've been talking in my act how most couples happen because one person persists over the other's reluctance, right?
Yes.
And excuse me, this whole...
You trifling.
I know, I just burped. This whole shift in the dynamic between men and women is kind of boiling.
You mean with like the feminism stuff and like women just taking on more masculine roles?
I don't know because
men wearing more skinny jeans. Is that what you mean?
Yes. Well, I don't know. I feel like there's this weird thing happening where there's a call for equal treatment, but then also an acknowledgement of an uneven playing field. And it is hard to have both of those in the same moment, right? So to extrapolate it out, if I go into a situation with a woman assuming she has the same sexual power dynamic as me, meaning if I don't want to do something, I'm going to say no. If I don't want a drink of alcohol, I'm going to say no. If I don't want cocaine, I'm going to say no, right? But with a woman, I have to factor in, oh, I'm bigger than you. I'm brown, maybe you're white.
Right.
I'm, whatever socialization she's had to put other people first before her feelings.
Which is most women.
My socialization to just get what I want until I'm told you good. All of those layer up to make treating you equally. I can't because you in your mind are not.
Right.
So even if I am treating you like that, the other mindset doesn't match it. It doesn't matter.
Right. It's all in the perception.
So that's where this weird dynamic is changing because it's interesting that just the way pop culture tells us to socialize and hook up is very fuckboyish.
And I mean, social media in general has created fuckboy behavior.
Sliding in DMs.
Yeah. It's created a society of people who no one cares about other people anymore. It's just about relationships and getting to know someone. It's always like, what better is out there? And before, back in the day, before all this existed, we didn't have the options to do that. Now it's like, oh, I can literally text somebody right now on Instagram and meet up with them so I can, and cheat on whoever I'm with right now. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to do. I don't know what good people are supposed to do in a society where people are caring less and less about other people.
Well, that's the interesting thing about care is I feel like I'm guilty of afterwards maybe not feeling like I cared enough about that other person that I hooked up with. And it's not that like I have no care for you. I have the care that like I don't wish you any harm. But like I don't
think that's care.
I don't care enough to like help you move. You know what I'm saying? Like off rip.
But I feel like that's everybody. Would you help anybody move?
I help people move all the time. I'm good at spatial reasoning. I can lift shit. Like
yo, Ramon, he's a fuckboy, but he's great at spatial reasoning.
Yeah.
You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. But
Hilarious.
yeah, so there, and that goes to I feel like if men and women communicated better, like a lot
That's
of
what
you,
it boils
a
down
lot
to.
would. That's what like I said earlier. For dude talks for a living, I don't communicate well.
Yeah.
But if I, instead of trying to hook up like a fuckboy, like off rip, like yo, what's good? If I step back, and I've been slowly changing. Like I met a girl after a show recently, and she was just terrible, drunk during a show, disturbing it, but she was sexy, dick sucking lips, big titties.
Oh.
Came up, talked to me after the show, like, hey, you're so funny. You remind me of Tyler Perry. I'm like, oh, you're real terrible.
Wait, she said
She said, I'm real funny. I remind her of Tyler Perry.
You are in no way, shape, or form.
Exactly. So I'm like,
people are so stupid.
So stupid. But normal old fuckboy Ramon would have been like, oh, let me get your number. But trying to hang out, hook up, whatever. But new revelation Ramon, or trying to be better Ramon, was like, oh, you're a terrible person.
See, but that's the type of person who deserves a fuckboy.
Right? You're a terrible person. I would just be trying to fuck you. I would have no care for you. I wouldn't want to hang out with you in a day-to-day situation.
Yeah.
I'll just have this be a terrible conversation.
But that's
and
who you should waste. You get all your fuckboy behavior out on her. So while you know you are in this emotional state where you are irresponsible and don't have your shit fully together, mess with chicks like that, and then when you get your shit together, then you come at chicks who are, a higher caliber of woman.
Yeah, there's that. But then I'm still treating a woman shitty.
Yeah, but she deserves it. She compared you to Tyler Perry. If no one deserves that.
Okay. All right. So
if anyone does, it's her.
Yeah. So all right. So if you're a shitty lady, you deserve some shitty dick. Or not shitty dick, but shitty demeanor.
Is that crazy for me to say? Like, I feel like I'd rather you be shitty to someone else who's already shitty than be shitty to someone who's a good person.
And yo, that's what one of my friends was telling me. Like, that's what, like, are you familiar with a roster? Like being a roster lady or a roster dude?
Having a roster of people that you like fuck?
Yeah, you can be like, yo, you up? And you can just go over there.
Yeah, I've never experienced that. I mean, maybe I was on someone's roster and didn't know it. I don't think so, though.
Okay.
I don't put off roster vibes.
Right, you don't.
Yeah.
But I'm right. I've typically been a roster dude. And within that, there's certain behaviors.
A roster-farian?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Should we just shut this down now?
Yeah, probably.
This is all right, guys. That was the last podcast ever that I have to turn in my comedian. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Continue. I'm sorry. You were on a roster. You were a roster boy.
In doing that, my buddy was like, you have those you up girls. It's the same as like an interview with a vampire. There's that vampire who he doesn't eat people, but he'll eat like cows and horses and animals
to spare
to
the humans.
That's basically what you just described. Fuck with these heifers.
The people that are already damaged and stupid.
And don't destroy good people.
Yeah. But I know here's the thing. Life. Everyone gets hurt.
If to go back to fast food, if I'm on a diet but I'm going to McDonald's every day because that's what I can, that's the food I can get, right? I'm not ready for the good restaurants.
Well, how are you on a diet then?
Exactly. I don't know. Calorie wise, right?
You just blew my mind.
But in the fast food sex analogy, it's like, who's the restaurant? Is it the man? Is it the woman? Who's the customer? Is it the man or the woman? What is the food? Is that the sex or the man or the woman? Like, it's a weird thing to think about. But having the roster gives you that. Okay, I don't have to be out here just like clouded, because like horniness for a dude takes over your whole body.
Well, yeah, no, did you watch Seinfeld?
Yeah.
There was an episode where George stopped having sex.
Oh, and he was
he became brilliant, and then Elaine stopped having sex, and she became an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like that? What you're saying, or you're saying you can't make good judgments about anything because all you're thinking about is sex all the time?
I'll put it two ways. I never have clearer thoughts than right after I've had sex. Like I'm just like
They say that's when you guys are most honest. Is that
right?
true?
Yes, because we're just all the anxiety is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like getting a dope massage.
You guys are so simple.
Simple as fuck, but we seem
Simple-minded.
complicated. But literally, just tell us what you want and we got you. That's what it boils down to.
It's
But women
not
are
that
like, I don't
simple.
want to have to tell you.
It's not that simple.
It kind of is.
No, it's not.
Then what was I gonna say? What was I saying?
You're saying that when you're horny, that it.
Oh, so
clouds.
there's that. But I've also had friends who like worse pussy hounds than me. That most dudes are guilty of the thing you said, scrolling through your phone
Mm-hmm.
every day, scrolling, trying to figure out who you
They
can
can
maybe
smash.
have sex with that night. Boom,
That's
boom,
most
boom.
guys.
That's most single dudes. That's their day,
every day.
or some facet of that.
Really?
So yes,
Paul's doing it right now.
right, and then casual hookup with a friend, started dating, serious relationship. He's like, I've never been more productive because now his brain, which previously all day, who can I smash, now doesn't have that need to do that. So is free to
Right.
focus on other things.
But wouldn't masturbation help with that also?
No.
What do you mean?
Masturbation is a reminder. Masturbation is a reminder that you're not having sex.
But isn't it the release that all that matters?
No. A masturbation release is completely different from a sex release. But I have realized that
You see my face?
some of the sex I've had has been masturbating with a whole other person's body.
What?
Like some sex I've had, when I look at it, it was just me using that person to jerk off.
Oh. But you were inside them. But they were. So that chick that thought she was a hole probably was. She was accurate.
Right?
Ladies always go with your guts.
Right?
She knew.
While I'm smashing them.
She knew.
Yes.
You might as well have been having sex with a sex doll.
Maybe. But that goes to having sex
Maybe
without...
put that as her name in your phone.
Sex hole. That,
You're a fuckboy and you're her phone, so you put whatever
Sex hole.
Chloe sex hole.
but that goes back to having sex without care.
Yeah.
You being able to have sex without care or emotion, that's kind of what it will feel like sometimes.
And you know,
It's not good.
right. But okay, so I and maybe you can shed some light on this. And I know that for women who are listening, you're probably curious like I am. In general, you think that it is easier for men to compartmentalize their feelings when having sex, correct?
In men, it is easier to... Men don't grow feelings. Ooh, they're there, but then we just kind of don't acknowledge them. For the most part. Like very few men grow up in a way where they can be caring and affectionate. It happens now more and more commonly.
Because we're raising more men. We're in this climate that's happening right now where the gender roles are switching. It is, I will say, yes, definitely. If you're younger boys now are growing up and thinking or knowing and understanding that it's okay that if I don't know how to throw a football, I shouldn't be made fun of.
Right. There's that.
And if I cry, it's not that big of a deal.
Right. But there's still the meanness, even the little thing of going back to when you were let's go back to elementary school. You remember notes? You get a little note from a guy. He's
Of
like,
course.
hey,
I have a box.
Right?
I have a box of
Now,
notes that I got.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you ever get a note, an I like you note from a dude that, that's cute, but
That was like all
my
of
man,
them.
right? Now, were you like, hey, thank you, but then you told all the other girls, look at this little note that this
Of course.
dude, right? So him opening up, hey, I have these feelings, and you'd be like, hey,
Laughing at
thanks,
you.
ha 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 ha.
Right.
That dude ain't going now less inclined to open up, even though that's such a small.
It's an
little example, but it's a lot of those little things like that over time add up to like, oh, I'm not supposed to show no feelings.
Right.
So going into a sexual situation, like if men and women had this conversation before they had sex, if the dude was like, "Hey, I'm real attracted to you, but I don't know if I'm in a position to be in a relationship, but I'd like to hang out and have fun with you if you'd be into that, but I don't know if it would be more."
Mm-hmm.
The girl would probably be like, "Hell, that's great, but you know what? I'm looking for something else, so that's not gonna work out for me." And if the girl's like, "Hey, I'm attracted to you, I'd really like to hook up, but I'm looking for something more.
Right.
Is that okay?" I'd be like, "Oh, you know what? I'm down to have fun, but I couldn't give you more." So we would both be like, "Oh, no, you know what? We shouldn't hook up."
Uh-huh.
But knowing that, neither of us ask that, and we just try to
Work through it and do whatever.
skirt
Let
by
nature
till
take its course and then
have
think
the-
about the consequences after.
have the convo when we need to.
Yeah, no, what happens with me is that and this goes back to part of my struggle and just in general, like it makes me, make me want to do analysis about myself and where I got this from. But like a dude could flat out be like, "Yo, I have commitment issues. I'm probably not going to settle down anytime soon."
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm attracted to him, I'm like, "You want to have drinks on Tuesday?" Like I'm that I like, and I don't know if it's like, maybe it's because I subconsciously am also terrified of commitment myself.
Yeah.
So I seek out people who are emotionally unavailable.
We go for untenable situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think, and that would also explain why I attract gay guys all the time too, is because they are the most emotionally unavailable as far as like a relationship with me is
they're
concerned.
emotionally available, but they're not sexually available.
Sexually, right.
Yeah.
But for me, you're also emotionally unavailable because I'm not dating a gay guy.
Yeah.
That's where that comes from. But I think that's where that is. But yeah, because I've gotten myself in situations where the guy has been clear, and then it's like still, and also women have this thing of, "I'm gonna change him.
I can fix him."
I'm the one. I love a broken bird.
I feel like I get a lot of those, and then it's just like.
But I think it's a lot of women.
And within that, I've had, in the early days of having a roster, after I had the one girlfriend and I went back into single life, I didn't want to have sex with women I didn't care about. That felt like a good.
You said you didn't want to have.
I did not want to have sex with women I did not care about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just getting my dick sucked a lot.
That also counts, right?
At the time I was like, "Oh, you can do this because like you can't get pregnant and you can't catch feelings from sucking a dick." You can't? I was wrong about one of those.
I'm saying you can't. I've fallen in love with a few dudes.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I'm kidding.
But like one of my buddies told me that, "Oh yeah, feelings are like herpes, like any skin to skin contact, they're going to transfer."
Yeah.
But early on in the game, when I didn't have like all these things that you're like, "You're 26, you should know this shit." It's like, well, I just started fucking, so sorry, I don't.
Cut me some slack.
But yeah, so it's weird to. The other thing I've noticed recently that feeds into the fuckboyism is like I rewatched 40-Year-Old Virgin and Superbad with my nephews and niece, and huge chains of logic in both movies is just get drunk and fuck drunk chicks.
Yeah,
for adults and for children.
It's not good.
It's not good. And then within that, I find like because I don't drink at all. So but being in a comedy shows, everyone's drinking.
Yep.
So like I'll have women come up to me after shows very like,
"Can I buy you a drink?"
And I'm like, "Oh, I don't drink." Now I've cut off their access to like an acceptable reason to be around me and flirt with me. And then it just kind of teeters from there. And then I've noticed if I'll get their number, but then they were drunk, so they'll kind of flake over time.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird, but women will get drunk to get in the mood to smash.
Yeah.
So there's like a weird fine line that like you have like just like.
I want to know how much like smashing would be happening if there was no liquor.
That's what I mean. I feel like so much of
an interesting social experiment.
So much of the inappropriateness that comes from men onto women and vice versa is alcohol driven.
It's because
and
is that why you don't drink?
No, I don't drink. I almost died in a drunk driving accident a year after one of my really good friends did die in a drunk driving accident. Oh, shit. So I just don't.
Well, you were the drunk one, or someone that hit you was drunk?
I was drunk. I blacked out after a gig.
God damn.
I drove home. I crashed my car into a steel guardrail like a mile from my house. And I just came to like bleeding in my bathroom mirror. Like I was trying to cut my neck with scissors. Like I was just dumb shit.
We're gonna have Ramon back on a
right. But I never liked drinking, so it wasn't that hard to give up. But it did, like the metric of, oh, let's meet up for drinks. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're fun. This is fun. Oops, we got drunk and fucked. Oh, that was we should probably do that again, but like maybe without the booze.
Right.
That's how it progresses for so many people. I don't get that. Like the times I've had like a girl interested and then like we're hanging out and they'll get drunk. Like I had a girl, we were hanging out playing strip poker. Her roommate showed up. She was drinking tequila. She drank a whole bottle of tequila while we were hanging out. What? And then just suddenly turned to her roommate, like, you need to go upstairs because I'm gonna fuck him. And then I was just like, oh.
And what happened? Did you smash?
I would try to just go down on her, but then she kind of demanded that we smash, so we smashed. And then we smashed in the morning too, so like wasn't. But still is one of those like we were going to smash when you weren't drunk.
Right.
And then you got
right.
And then like she wanted to hang out more and I didn't know how to be like, I was real uncomfortable with how drunk you were. So
I mean, you could have just said that,
but I didn't. That's a hard if you drink a lot and someone's like, "Hey, you drink too much for me to want to fuck you."
That's a wake up call for that person,
right? But also, it could be a fuck you. So instead,
so what? Is this a person that you want to date long term? No, probably not.
So I go instead of being a responsible person like that, I ghosted.
And that's fine too, in that type of
situation.
But
it's not. But eventually, at a certain point, a couple months ago, I texted. I had a rash of where I just texted people I felt shitty.
But you weren't dating her, right?
No.
So you can ghost someone that you're not dating because you're not dating.
But that goes back to I've dated 1.5 women, but I've ghosted and been shitty fuckboy to a lot. So either since I was not dating any of them, it doesn't matter. So. You know what I'm saying? Like it matters, but not as much. Seeing
someone repeatedly is not technically like dating if you only like smash when you see the person, but you have a relationship with that person. Whereas this person, I feel like you did not have a relationship with her that you even cared about.
But so we could have at a certain point. But again, it was out here. They live in like a $20, $25 Uber one way. Yeah. So I'm broke. So to go hang out and not smash for $40, $50. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yeah. But again, that goes to my financial poverty and my emotional poverty. It's like
it's fuckboyonomics.
Yeah, I've had chicks who are like, "Hey, come hang out. Let's go trivia night." And it's like, "Yo, I don't want to pay $30 to go to Highland Park to go to trivia night. Like, I have a personality. I don't need to do that. I'll stay home and smoke weed and play video games, or I'll go to a comedy thing, or I'll hang out with my existing friends." But if there was some pussy on the table, I'll go to Highland Park.
So basically what you're saying is you're at the point in your life right now where the only thing that's getting you out the door is pussy.
I was at the point. Now I'm trying to treat women the same as men. I'm trying to not objectify you.
But it's still hard for you because of your financial situation is what you're saying.
It's very hard because and then it's also very hard because
FaceTime.
Yes. But it's also very hard because valuing pussy over personality is something most dudes are guilty of.
Yes.
And once you take the pussy away, a lot of times the personality is very lacking. Right?
And on the girl side?
On just people in general. Like,
I agree. Most people
dudes have no pussy. So there's nothing a dude can have that will make him being a lackluster person that will make me hang out with them, except maybe a boat. Right? Maybe.
Or a dog.
Right? Not even a dog.
They have a great dog.
I'm good.
That's where we're different.
Yeah, girls will fuck with a dude just because his dog is dope.
Absolutely.
I can barely afford to keep myself alive, so I don't really give a fuck about animals. Yeah.
Personalities.
Just, so it's taking that out of the equation.
Yeah.
You may get disavowed the same way. Does that make sense? Like it's hard to be like, I don't know.
Taking pussy out of the equation?
Taking pussy, if you're just a person, I'm not objectifying you. I'm just gonna give you the same opportunity that he's having.
Right, which is just you got to sell me on your personality alone.
Or you got to, oh, you smoke weed? Okay, we'll go smoke weed.
Right.
Oh,
that's
cool. We have common things. Okay, cool.
Right.
But like so many women be like, oh, I want to spend time with you. All right, what do you want to do? Oh, oh, none of that sounds.
But you're boring.
Yeah, and a lot of that, and I don't know if I feel like you might have this too, where it's not that person's fault. We meet so many people.
We know interesting people because
we know interesting people, but we also meet so many people that individual, the things that make that person an individual, we know enough people where, oh, you're an archetype.
Yeah.
You have this kind of book, you have this kind of music, you have that kind of glasses.
Yeah.
I know things without knowing things.
Right.
There'll be that. And then it's like, I'm good. But but now I'm in a position where I'm good. Before I would put up with it.
Right, because I
wanted some
pussy.
But that's like, I've noticed that I've spent a lot of time and energy not having anything with a lot of people versus spending and investing energy with one person to actually try to have a thing.
Right.
I've spent the same amount of energy to not have things that I probably could have directed towards. But is it weird to be aware that I could have dated at any point? Like, do you feel like that? Like, you could be like, you know what? If I just want a basic, boring ass dude, I can go get that.
That is absolutely true. That is and that is my biggest thing is like, everyone always tells me like, you just have too many standards or you're too picky. I'm like, but shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to have someone who's entering my body at some point, you know, or someone that I'm considering maybe having a future with, I should be picky. And I've always thought that about, like, I've always like known people that are just jump from relationship to relationship to relationship, and they're never by themselves. And I'm like, how are you finding this many people that you want to talk to regularly? I know there are 3 people that I like.
Yeah.
All right. Like tops. That's it. Like, I can't imagine like finding that many people that I want to spend that much time with, share my body with, you know, intimacy with, you know, blows my mind.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be by myself, which is, I would like to say it's part of my struggle, but I don't think that's like a struggle for me. Like that, I acknowledge that part and I'm actually proud of that part.
Yeah. I spend a lot of my time as alone time. I dig it. I know how to enjoy myself.
And and most people can't, which is why a lot of people have to be in relationships all the time because they hate themselves.
And to where I'm hyper aware of the energy and effort it takes to actually have a functional relationship. And like you said, you know, just be a fuckboy to the girls who deserve it.
Just get it out your system if it's there. If you have to.
This is the first time I'm saying this, but if you don't try to have an actual relationship at any point, will you know how to do it when it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you never, like, to go to comedy shit and acting.
Right.
If you never do any acting class, if you've never experienced anything.
How do you know how to do it? How do you do it right?
And then you get offered to do something dope. Will you be able to rise to the occasion if you haven't had that?
Right. Will you mess it up? And I think that's just that's a risk we have to take in life, is that because I look at my relationships that I've had in the past and I'm like, have I ever had one that was like so meaningful that I actually can look back at, like, if my life ended right now, could I look back and say that I had meaningful relationships and I actually gave everything to the relationships that I was in, and did I do it the way you're supposed to do a correct relationship?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
No.
And I don't even know if that is a thing. What is that? Like, how do you behave in a relationship the correct way?
Yeah, it's so nebulous, and I've been on stage exploring a lot of this. But last week, I started asking people in the crowd. I'm like, "Have you cared about everyone you've had sex with?" And the first woman I asked that to gave me the meanest look at first, and then her face softened for a second, and she was like,
real for her.
"No."
Oh, she thought about it and was
she said no. And most of us haven't cared about every person we've had sex with. We've had sex with someone we cared about.
I have.
You've had sex with someone you cared about.
No, all of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
No one got in under false pretenses?
Okay, 2.
Okay, got you.
They were forgettable. That's why I had to go back in my
and
Rolodex
that's-
of it's two people that I didn't really care about.
And that
Does it
is
count if I thought I cared at the time?
yes,
And I look back and I didn't care about them.
right, and that's that can be maybe the lie women tell themselves is I
Maybe.
care about this dude so that you can do it.
Maybe. I never thought. Oh,
because
think
you
about
have
that,
to
ladies.
because you know like you said, you're letting someone inside of you. That's a completely different
Experience.
mental notion than me just I can just masturbate with your body.
Right.
It's shitty. But women can also do the same thing to men. I've had women who come over and they just cover my face with their hand and they're just going.
Are you serious?
But then we switch around, but it's just oh, I don't really matter. I'm just an option right now.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard, Ramon.
It was kind of dope in the moment.
Her covering your face
For a second.
Okay, Ramon, I hate to do this, but we have to wrap up. But
well, hey, don't cover people's faces when you're making sweet, passionate
you said
love
you
to
enjoyed
them.
it a little bit.
It was interesting. I don't know.
That's the darkness inside of you,
I guess.
which we'll cover on the next time. We have to have you back because
Jackie's not even here.
I know
Jackie was going to solve all my problems.
Jackie was going to add to your problems. All right,
she probably wasn't going to add to my problems.
Jackie got her own problems.
Yeah, we all do.
And she's going to try and smash afterwards.
Yeah. See, but that's another thing. It's we meet so many dope people. Most of the dope people we know are comics, but within comedy, I don't know if this because I was just dealing with the rumors of trading blowjobs for stage time, but I've defaulted to I want to treat you as a peer and a person before I treat you as a sexual option.
Object, right.
But then it's hard to broach that at any point. You know what I'm saying? The same thing, once I become an actual friend with a woman, how do I now offer you some dick? I would love to just hey, you know how this dope, do you know this dope date we just had?
But know that that's, before we go, just know that sometimes is not a bad thing to do or to think about. I think, I don't know if we talked about this on the first podcast episode, or we talked about it after we wrapped, but I was telling Jackie, I think we talked about it after we wrapped, but I was telling her that I hit on a guy friend of mine and it's not going to work out, but the option, letting him know he wasn't weird about it. And it was just, I put it out there and what's the worst that's going to happen? Being oh no, or something amazing could come from it, so getting the fear of rejection.
Yeah.
I never make any decisions based off fear.
Good.
I try not to do that. I think as comedians, sometimes we don't know where our next rent check's coming from. I
don't know where last month's rent check came from.
Exactly. So that's kind of our mantra is we take risks all the time and just by pursuing our dreams. So I think that's something to think about if you have a friend that's and you're just I feel like we have a good time together. Because again, what's the worst that's going to happen? She's going to say no, or he's going to say no, or the best thing, something amazing could happen, or at least a lot of good sex for at least 6 months.
Man, that would be great. I'll take 6 months of dope sex.
So will I.
I'll take a couple.
I'll take a week.
I'll take an hour or two, to be honest with you.
I'm so thirsty.
Yeah, it's all right. The best thing I've been added to my thing is I'll add little trials to early dates.